Hi, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. This is the most important thing you can listen to today.
Here's the one.
I have a dream.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I could do this all day.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Cinderella story out of nowhere.
It's in the hole. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Capital Hacking begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the big show. Welcome to 2025, John. It is going to be a phenomenal year.
Yeah, I mean, this year is it's going to be interesting. It's definitely a transition year for Christine and I because our two older now are in college. So we just have one, Caleb, still at home, and he's busy as heck. So we're practically empty nesters now.
So it's the beginning of the year for us. I know it's a couple weeks into the season. If you're listening to the show regularly, we love you. We appreciate you. It's a big year for Capital Hacking. We're going to work hard on developing the show. But, John, you had a great idea. You said, let's share some vision thoughts at the beginning of the year, some goal setting. And you came up with the idea of let's just have this be about the one word or the word for 25. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah. So every year for the last, I don't know how many years, but many, me and my family, we each pick a word that is the theme for the year. And the word that I picked this year is health. Now, if you know me, you know I exercise every day. I'm pretty disciplined in with what I eat. Sometimes not, but most of the time I am. And I'm pretty, I'm very, very physically active. However, now that I'm in my mid 40s, I wonder what's happening beneath the surface. And that's what inspired me to write the word health because, listen, in business, Josh, you know this, and if you're listening and you run a business, you know this, we're always looking for our blind spots.
Yeah. What's
around the corner, right? And we want to know that so that we know how to, approach that obstacle. With me personally, I've gotten blood work done once in the last 10 years. And I kind of hyperventilate around needles. I don't like talking about
surprising
like this. Josh, you do know that I do.
Surprised. Yeah.
I get weird about that stuff. And,
Me too.
Yeah. And, I just figured this year I'm 46. Had a couple close friends pass away this past year that were my age from different, out of the blue health stuff. And I feel like God's put on my spirit that, just like in business, we need to know where our blind spots are. We need to know where our health spots are. So, I'll be doing all kinds of testing throughout the year and retesting and seeing what's working and what's not.
Yeah. What a great idea. And I think we're going to follow you on that. We signed up with one of those types of, I don't know what you would call it, but maybe a concierge type doctor.
Yeah.
Where they do different types of blood tests, more than just what you might do a Quest diagnostic or whatever. I have the box at my house where I have to go make an appointment in downtown Philly to this box of different, I don't know what this is.
Did you go with Dr. Bob?
No, forgive me. Melanie set me up with this person. And
that's cool.
Look, these types of programs, we will report back to you from my point of view on this throughout the year. But I want to compliment you on the health issue. Now, say the needle thing for 1 minute. I totally agree with you. Like, I try to be tough in many ways, but all I could think about when they give me needles and take blood is that there's something in me, in my skin, and it makes me psych out. So I try not to think about it, and my wife dies laughing because ladies are so tough with medical stuff. Like, they can handle it. My lovely wife dies laughing that I think about IVs if I'm getting an IV. I think about a needle. I think about it. Like, I can't relax.
I don't know what it is. Women are much, much tougher in that arena. You're right. I got to give it to Chris. I mean, Christine had one, Sylvie came faster than she could get an IV bag, and she had Sylvie all natural, no drugs, no painkillers, no nothing. And I don't know. I probably would have died on the table, Josh.
I know ladies are tougher than men. I think we know that, even though, John, you're one of the strongest, toughest guys I've ever met with all the things you do. So a little different word for us. Melanie and I came together on this word, and it works perfectly for both of us. But she was inspired by it. And the year 2025 for us, and me in particular right now on this podcast, is the word abundance. Abundance.
Mm.
And Melanie felt compelled by it because, let me just share for a minute. So we look at our life, and we have the family, we have a business, and we feel like we have a calling, a purpose in life. And we've been really investing in our faith and our journey with God. And we're like, okay, so if God wants us to grow, our impact on others, serve others, then we got to stop thinking in the form of scarcity. Now, what Melanie's referring to is, it's funny because abundance sounds more like more things for you, but she's really thinking about like, how do we get ready to receive more responsibility in abundance, and what do we need to do? So health shows up as one of the key things we got to get better at. Mindset around, if you do have financial yield, how does that fit into your mission, and what is the purpose of money? So there's a lot of that. Like, if there is abundance financially, then what's the point? How are we going to deploy it? But the next big thing is to think about what we've already been given as, we call it now. I'm starting to talk about the properties we own together, the projects we've done with investors, the investors themselves, the accountable equity community. We always say this is so abundant already. And what more? It's almost like we're being prepared for something more. And that's what Melanie's saying. If we're being prepared for more, keep leaning into that and be ready for more. Now, is more to us means more problems, and problems mean more contribution. So it's funny because from when Melanie says abundance, she's totally talking in this kind of detached concept. But when I say it out loud, it sounds like a seeking. It almost sounds, as I'm sitting here on this podcast sharing with my friends here today, I'm thinking it sounds, when you hear the word abundance, like, oh, that's a taking. But I know Melanie's heart, and I know where I'm thinking about it. It's more like, okay, if we were formed at this level, and we don't think this was the purpose is to get to this level, we think it's to get to a bigger, more contributive level, then how much more do we need to get bigger? And that's kind of what she's saying with abundance. So deep, a lot of reflections on this. I keep saying, from my point of view, John, like, what is it that we, myself or Melanie and I together, what can we contribute to each program we're involved in, whether it be at property level, the masterminds we're a part of, or the investor community, accountable equity? What more can we do in that community that is our, unique contribution? And maybe other people do more in their unique contribution.
Yeah.
What is it? And it comes down for us to continually be, in a sense, driving the leaders, right? So if the leaders are the servants to the teams, and we're the leaders, we're the servants to the leaders, what are the basic things we need to do to keep holding accountable those leaders so that we can keep becoming more abundant?
Hi, this is Melanie McCallen. Josh and I are just so grateful for the many investors who already joined us at Accountable Equity. Accountable Equity is so much more than a capital group. It's really a community of accredited investors that want to learn and grow together. I just want to personally invite you, if you want to find out more about this type of investment and see if it's right for you and your family, please visit us at accountableequity.com.
Hey, it's Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. Enjoy.
It's been a revelation today. We were having a whole meeting about it this morning with our exec team.
No, that's good. And abundance, distilled down is just a mindset. It's how you're living all day, every day, every minute when you're facing an issue or a challenge, or there's an opportunity to give, right? I mean, that abundance mindset, because you're projecting this out there. And I was also really happy to hear that you guys joined Wellspring, which is another mastermind. And
yes,
I think, you're going to grow in leaps and bounds by being a part of. And for those who don't know Wellspring, I believe it's run by John Maxwell and David Green from Hobby Lobby, right?
Well, technically no, but they contribute a lot to it, meaning they contribute their time. It's actually run by Pete Vargas, the guy who created Advance Your Reach and partnered with Grant Cardone and does a lot of helps a lot of speakers. And
that's
whatever.
Right. I did know it was Pete Vargas. Yeah.
Great guy. I'm sure you'll run into him. You would love him. But he what you just said was right. Putting ourselves in the room with those people that have done massive, abundant things and continue to see it as a burden in a sense, right? The more that you're given, the more is expected. And that you can say, well, that sounds depressing, or you could say that sounds uplifting. It's how you look at it, right? And back to abundance, I have another point that I thought was interesting. What if I told you the 4 resorts, the thousands of acres, the hundreds and hundreds of staff? To me now, I'm starting to say, how can I love on them so that it gets better operationally, so that it can become a quote unquote a case study or a launching pad to a much larger portfolio and much larger support of other people's careers and whatever. What if 4 resorts isn't the beginning of a portfolio? This is just a mental thought. What if it's a proof of concept for a large portfolio? You get my point? I know it's a small nuance, but it's like, is it 4 that becomes 5, 6, or is it 4 that shows the world we can do this 100 times? You get my point? It's just a mental concept. And in that frame, it encourages you to make different decisions with the 4. To double down on SOPs, double down on process, double down on efficiency, so that you can then take that case study to investors and or partners in the next year. So 2025 for us is actually a year of really investing in our team and getting ready for so much more, so much abundance.
I love it. I love it. Well, if you don't have a theme or a word for the year, Josh and I are challenging you to set some time aside and really think about what you want to focus on in 2025. And we wish you an amazing year. We're going to be here week after week for you guys, bringing awesome shows.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Damn straight. We just got we got to the end of another great show. And everyone listening right now, you're the family and friends. Thanks for staying till the end.
That was so fun. And hey, hit the like, hit subscribe. We're here to serve you guys. That's why we're doing this show. Josh is not paying me. I'm doing this off of my quote unquote sweat equity because we want to make a difference in your life. And then that ripple effect will continue to touch the world.
Hey, amen, brother. Please check us out on capitalhacking.com, all the social media threads. And yes, I know you've probably already sent this episode to one of your best friends. Thank you. We love you. Just go right into your iPhone, hit the plus symbol. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
Share.